So this is how the wind circulation is created, how our winds in the atmosphere, or wind systems are created in the atmosphere. So what drives the circulation is an uneven heating of the air from below. And this is due to the surface heat fluxes. Yeah? It's essentially surplus of solar radiation in the equatorial region. And that's shown on the left-hand side. So first of all, just ignore that the Earth rotates. That makes it easy to understand the origin of the circulation in the atmosphere. So if you ignore the Earth rotation, what the excess heat flux in the equatorial region does is it reduces the density of air. The air becomes lighter, rises upward in the atmosphere. Okay, that's the starting point. Okay, you see in this graph here. So the important principle of in fluids and gases is the principle of volume conservation. If you move away air from the equator, you move it upward, it has to be replaced. So what happens is that there is a replacement flow from the south and from the north that fills up the air that you lose by this, what we call an updraft, a vertical upward motion. Okay, again, because you move away from air from the poles, move them towards the equator, there has to be a replacement of this air, and what you get is a so-called circulation cell, a convection cell. Okay, in these cells you get two of them, which are symmetrical in this easy concept. All right. So now what happens for a rotating Earth is shown on the right hand side. So it's still that the central circulation cell, okay, that drives the atmospheric circulation originates from the equator. Okay, you can see them here, north of the equator, south of the equator, and they're called Hadley cells. Okay, Hadley cells. Okay, what's also illustrated here is that you create clouds if you have an updraft. How this happens is the air takes up moisture from the oceans, so that's due to evaporation. By lifting the air up, the air cools down, and if it reaches a certain temperature, the moisture condenses in the air and leading to cloud formation. Okay, that's a principal source of cloud formation. Okay. Under the influence of rotation, you get more. You get also a cell which starts at the mid latitudes. Okay, these cells are called Ferrel cells. Okay, they are moving the opposite way. But the important point here is that these cells also create a downdraft, downward movement. Okay, you get a downward movement. All right. And this downward movement actually suppresses the cloud formation. And this coincides with the regions where you find deserts on Earth. Okay, where you have desert climates. Okay, now the other important point is that the Earth rotation also creates a key component, which are zonal winds. Zonal means from east to west or west to east. Okay, and we have a key patterns. It's near the equator. They are known as the trade winds. Okay, these are the winds that move air towards the equator, but mainly along the equator from east to west. And this type of wind direction we call easterlies, from east to west. And then there are winds which come from the west and blow to the east, which are called the westerlies.